Hello everyone, welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. It's Saturday. Today we're going to be doing an open tag response to John over at Thrifty Kniffy. He started an open tag of Super Sack Saturday, so it's just pretty standard really, show a Swiss Army knife on a Saturday. Just earlier watched his one from this week on the Sportsman, make sure you go check that out, it's a great model and he does a fantastic review of that as well. But today we're going to take a look at another discontinued model from Victorinox. So we're taking a look at the Tourist. I picked this one up very recently, got it on the secondary market, of course, as it's discontinued. It's an 84mm. Picked this up from Dan over at Blade Bridge Customs. He sometimes has, like drops on his website. He posts on Instagram of knives he's picked up, ones he's restored, done some work on, and just customs on there as well. But definitely go and check him out, Blade Bridge Customs. I'll put the link in the description as well to his Instagram and his website. And this is one I picked up. This is a Victorinox Tourist. And you can see that it is an exclusive. We got a, I think it's an advertising knife. It's got Harberger Thun on the front. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And we got Switzerland as well. And the thing I love about this most is that text is inlaid the same as the shield. I mean, look at the work that's had to go to get that inlaid in there. They've done a fantastic job of that. Of course, you can see there's surface scratches. This isn't new to me or a new model entirely. It is second hand. But the Tourist we're looking at is a two-layer design, pretty much just a mini version of the Spartan. The Spartan, of course, being a 91mm model and the Tourist being an 84mm. And that works out to right about 3.25 inches closed. You can see there is no keyring on this design. There is also no scale tools either, which is quite unusual. I'm sure the regular Tourist did have them, but some of the limited editions or advertising knives, I would call them, didn't have that. I do have a Spartan that was an advertising knife and that also doesn't have them. So they seem to have done a couple of different variations of that. But we'll take a walk around the knife together now and just look at some of the bits and pieces on it. So as I mentioned, two-layer design. We have that Victorinox shield on the wonderful red Celador scales. No toothpick or tweezers on this and no keyring, makes it for a really comfortable carry and use in the hand. On the back we do have the standard tool set really. We have the older style corkscrew, which you can see has the groove in there all the way down. Meant to make it a bit easier to pull out the cork, with that little bit of groove for the extra grip, but they've taken it off, so I'm guessing it didn't work that well, or they just went for the newer style design. But that's pretty interesting to pick up an older piece when you get the older bits of history and see how they were made originally. You can see the groove starts about here and spirals all the way down. There's actually no hole for a pin on this model, but the snap on this knife is still really fantastic. We also have the punch on there as well, and being an older model you can see there is no sewing eye on this. Still have a really nice edge on there, still relatively sharp with a nice point. Great for starting pilot holes, anything like that. Scoring, leather work, all this stuff is great for that. On the back scales then you can see we have another inlaid sort of shield, and I'm guessing that's their logo. Guessing they were some sort of winch company. It looks like it's a hook there and like a winch or a pulley system. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to look a bit more into that and find out some more information on it. But this is one of the ones I really wanted to keep, these original scales. Sometimes if I pick up an older one, the scales are like really battered and chipped and things, and they haven't got any of this stuff on. They're just a plain. I will replace them. But for this, I want to leave these original ones on because the inlaid shields on these old designs is just phenomenal. On the front then, we have the standard opening layer. So you have the can opener with the smaller flathead screwdriver. Of course, that can also be used as a number 2 Phillips on the corner as well. Great for that emergency if you need. Great little point on the can opener, and these do work really well. I have used the ones on the compact and this multiple times, just tested them out to see how well they work. Obviously, it's not as good as a modern day can opener or tin opener, but it works perfectly well. You can definitely use that for a camping trip. Nice action on that. It's about 5.5 on a pull and about 6.5 on the break. It has that polished stonewash finish, which we all know and love from Victorinox. Nice clean nail neck on there as well. And being an older design as well, this is one of the ones pre half stop on the cap lifter. So you can see no half stop, just a nice smooth open all the way. About a 5.5 on the open. Nice snap into the close, and again about a 6.5 on the break for that. You can see we have the wire bender, the large flathead screwdriver and the cap lifter, And of course you have that little bit of an angle there where you could use that as a pry if you wish to, and as well as maybe using this as a Phillips on the corner for emergencies. But really great. Again, I actually prefer these without the half stop. I just think it's a bit more, for me, everything should be the same. Like, I know why they do the half stop, it's for safety, things like that, stop it closing. But if they've all got a half, I'd prefer it if everything had a half stop, if one was going to have. So I do prefer the older models where they don't have that half stop. But the action on these are great. And of course, this has been reconditioned by Dan himself at Blade Bridge. He's done a wonderful job of that, cleaned it all out, ultrasonically cleaned it, sharpened the blades, oiled everything, and it all works wonderfully well. Let's take a look at the main blade now. You can see we have the older style tang stamp with the 4 lines. We have Victorinox Switzerland stainless rost fry, and on the back there, which is probably used to date, or which is definitely used to date, we have Officer Swiss, and then you have the crossbow with the arrow. Is it touching? The arrow is just touching, so I believe that makes it in early 2000s. I could be wrong, so please don't quote me on that. I will have to double check. Main blade then, you can see got Dan's wonderful edge on there. He's fantastic at sharpening, and these are honestly, they're scary sharp how he can get these. Just really, really well done. Nice polished edge. Again, that polished stonewash finish on the blade. Nice clean nail neck too, and no swedge or anything as we'd expect on a Victorinox Swiss Army knife. Just a nice working blade, and I really have like fallen in love with this size of knife. I've always been a big fan of the 91mm, but getting my hands on more of these 84s, I just think they're, for my sort of hand size, they're just perfect for me. That's why I really started using the Sportsman pretty much nearly every day. It's just a great carry. Might have to put this one in the rotation. Kind of worried about, I don't want to damage these though. Maybe I'll pick myself up another one if I can find one. At the main blade length on this then, we're looking at tip to tang of 1 to pretty much bang on the 2.5 inches with a cutting edge of 2.1. So very UK legal, very world legal. Slip joint less than 3 inches. I mean, the whole length is very compact anyway. You have no problem just using that as a pocket dropper. Great action on the blade. It's about 5.5 on the pull, and you get to about a 7 here, and then a really nice affirmative lock up. Just listen to that. Great action. Then finally on the back, the last blade we have is the pen. See Dan has sharpened this as well. He does a wonderful job. I know I've said it already, but you should really definitely check out his work at Blade Bridge Customs. He's a great guy as well. Great laugh, wonderful sense of humour. Blade length tip to tang then, we have 1.6 inches and then a cutting edge of 1.4. And again, cam tang, no half stop or anything like that. Nice little useful pen blade. You use this a lot for opening packages. You can really score down on there. You can even do like a pinch grip halfway down if you don't want to, you know, pierce anything inside the package you're opening. Just a wonderful knife, and one I'm really glad to have in my collection. So there we go, guys. That's my review of the Victorinox Tourist for my Super Sack Saturday. Open tag started by John over at Thrifty Kniffy. Please also make sure you check out Dan over at Blade Bridge Customs. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.